You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to Living Full Out Show. My name is Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about doing what it takes, right? Sometimes we just have to be warriors and plow through those hard times or those long days and just do what it takes to get to the other side. And so I'll be taking your calls at 800-333-0001 if you're facing a challenge and you want to know how to get to the other side and really be able to live your life full out. Also, we're going to be joined in our next segment by Teal Scher, who is an American actress. Through an accident that she had when she was 14, however, she did become a paraplegic, but it did not stop her from living in her life in a big way and doing some pretty incredible acting roles such as them in The Guild and other great roles. So you don't want to miss her story. Also, if you have an inspirational story, we'd really like to hear from you. Feel free to reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Perhaps we can have you on the show as a guest. And lastly, same email, connect@livingfullout.com if you have questions on today's topic. We want to make sure that you're supported during the show, but even after the show, so that you are able to take those action steps to go after your goals and dreams. Now, when we consider doing what it takes, the first thing you have to do is just kind of be in the moment. It's really important to identify, what is that hurdle that you're facing? What are the emotions around it, and why do we feel this way? It's important to take assessment of our lives sometimes. I know for me, I'll have a really long day, and sometimes I'm stressed out, and I feel like I have so many expectations on my shoulders, and I have to sit myself down and sometimes prioritize or, figure out what do I need to bring myself, kind of calm myself down and put some ease in my body. And sometimes for me, that's making sure that I'm eating and my blood sugar levels are normal and having lots of water. So I want you to think about in your life, what do you need in terms of what you're facing right now? Let's think about that. And I'm a big believer in not having, these challenges go on and on and on. Let's think about, what is the problem, and let's do what it takes so that you can overcome that. I don't believe that these burdens in our life have to be a life sentence. I think we can find a way to get resourceful, to be positive, to, gain support from others in order to take that next step. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for calling in. How can I help you?
So my name is Angela. I'm currently in the long, drawn-out, messy process of breaking up with my boyfriend of 2 years. And I was wondering if you had any advice on how to break up with him in a way so that he will get over me faster and that this breakup can be cleaner and be wrapped up. And I feel so empathetic towards him that it's almost hard for me to do it because I feel like I'm hurting him and I love him so much, but I just can't see him right now.
Well, I'm so glad you're asking this question, and I'm raising my hand because I have been there also, and so many of our audience has. I mean, it's just kind of this process of dating and being in relationships, right? And especially when they end, that's hard. The first thing is I would really incorporate the word friend and enjoy spending time with you. I like you. I would try to take away words of intimacy like love or adore or, I would try to not reflect on too much of your past as a couple. Does that make sense? And you want to look forward and talk about what it's going to be like to be friends. Think about, now that we're not together as a couple, feel free to call me out on things that you wouldn't have done, when we were together, right? You got to add some humor to the moment, right?
Right.
Because when I look at some
Make
of
it
my
fun.
exes, exactly. When I look at some of my exes that I'm no longer with in an intimate relationship, I gave them green light immediately. I was like, I would, give them a high five. Where normally, if you were in the intimate relationship, you would give them a hug, right? Or,
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
just
get, I
don't even know if it's like if I should be his friend right now. I just don't know what's going to help him move on the fastest. You know what I mean?
I would have some distance. I would have some distance, but be kind. Be kind with his heart because he's still going to long for you. And even just getting a text from you will brighten his day. And so I would text him. I would, email him. Maybe once a week a phone call. But I would stay away from seeing him face to face because that will keep him lingering. That will keep him thinking that
Right.
he has a chance. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And then here's what I want you to also do because it's not all about him. I mean, you want to love him through this process, but I want you to get excited about that next relationship. I want you to identify, what was it in this relationship that wasn't the right fit? And that is really how you can be a good friend to him as well, is for you to move forward, for you to be happy. Okay? So I know if you do all that, you will be on your way, living full out, loving your heart. But I definitely appreciate you calling in.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You-
I appreciate that she asked that question, right? Because breakups are hard, and sometimes we have to do what it takes. We have to have some distance and, be able to, heal from a heartbreak or even daydream or night dream about what a new relationship might look like. So I'm super glad that she called in. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we have another caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi. My name
Hi,
is
thank
Tim.
you. Hi, Tim. How can we help you today?
Yes, so I have a question about long distance relationship. So
Yeah.
my girlfriend, who is currently living a couple of states away from me, but then she will go back to her own country, which is like super far away, and I all graduated. And it's likely that she won't get because entering the U.S., you have to have a visa and everything, and it's kind of hard for her to get a visa.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how I can kind of keep this relationship going, with just we doing FaceTime every day, but I don't know how I can continue and keep doing that. I wonder if you have any tips of beside all the FaceTime, how can I keep this long distance relationship going?
Well, you and I both know that there's a certain intimacy that comes with being with that person, holding their hand, giving them a hug, hanging out, right? So automatically the relationship is going to change when all you can rely on is FaceTime when she moves back to her country, right? And so what I would suggest is this. I'm not saying downgrade it to a friendship because obviously you love her, but at the same time, there's a philosophy that if you set something free and if it comes back to you, then maybe it's yours and it's meant to be. And in this case, since she does have to go back to her home country, you might have to set that relationship free. Stay friends, just something manageable that you can do, because it's hard to be, a bonded, intimate couple with so much distance, when especially there's the uncertainties of where it's ever going to go. But I think you could absolutely be great friends, the best of friends. You know what I mean? And so I think you want to transfer the intimate love, the romantic love, into more of a friendship love. And that's going to really help you and help her because it's going to take the burden off of both of your shoulders that you're going to let each other down. Do you see what I'm saying? Because that's kind of the hard part is you don't want to let her down. You don't want her to feel like you don't care. But I think both of you have to be realistic that when this distance eventually does come, I mean, right now she's a state away, right? But when she eventually becomes countries away, at that point, you just have to let the relationship unfold the way it's going to be. Rather than holding on so tight, let it morph into what it's going to be. Okay? But thank you so much for calling in, and we wish you all the best. And thank you so much for calling in. And for everybody listening, when we'll be coming right back with Teal sharing her story about how she lives full out and how she has to do what it takes, even after having that back injury and becoming a paraplegic. It is truly an inspiring story. So stay with us. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and we'll be coming right back, taking on what do we have to do? What hurdles do we have to overcome? Keeping our eye on the ball of what we want most in our life. That's how you live full out. And in the meantime, just doing what it takes to get to the other side. So again, we'll be coming right back after this break. Stay with us.
Hi, professional skateboarder Tony Hawk here with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you'll have the energy to skate through anything.
Nice play on words, Doc.
That's how I roll, Bugs. So whether you like to work the half pipe,
now that's catching air,
kick the soccer ball around, or dance in your room,
just move it your way.
For an hour a day.
The way you like to move, as long as you're moving.
Carve out some time every day and get active. Because it's time to do a 180 on what you think exercise is.
Because it can be whatever you want it to be. So be a player.
Be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At www.letsmove.gov. Let's hear that one more time, Doc. That's www.letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. At 7 I shower. Every day I wake up
For
at
those
5.
caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I'm Sarah, and this is my story.
I'm Ellen, and this is my story.
One night, I was at a bar.
I
was having fun with my friends.
I
had one too many drinks.
I
got behind the wheel to go home.
I got a cab to go home.
All of a sudden, from out of nowhere, a squirrel ran across the road. It happened so quickly, I barely had time to react.
The cabbie barely had time to react.
I swerved.
The cab swerved.
I can't believe it. I hit a guy.
I cannot believe it. The cabbie just missed a guy.
I wish I took a cab.
Thank goodness I took a cab.
You have the choice to save a life. Don't drive buzzed. It's a decision you'll never regret. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. We've got more food than we know what to do with in this country, yet 17 million kids in America are struggling with hunger. Makes no sense. Luckily, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks has volunteers gathering excess food and getting it to hungry kids. They're kind of like food angels. Hey, become a food angel yourself by supporting Feeding America in your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
If you think depression is all in a person's head, you're right. It's a brain illness. And like other illnesses, it has symptoms. Depression can make those who suffer from it feel hopeless. It can even lead to suicide. Learn how to stop depression from taking another life. Call SAVE, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, 1-888-511-SAVE, on the web at save.org.
I'm Alec Baldwin. Like any parent, I'm concerned about children's health. Many kids don't eat as they should and are at risk for long-term health problems like diabetes and heart disease. But here's good news. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and other low-fat vegetarian foods can protect our kids and keep the rest of the family healthy too. For a free booklet, call the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine at 1-877-685-KIDS or visit www.kidsgethealthy.org.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I am Nancy Solari, host of the Living Full Out Show, and today we are talking about doing what it takes. Sometimes those are hard words to hear because we want to go the easy route. Like, why can't life just be easy and, peaceful? Well, the whole story of life is that we're going to have highs and lows, right? Those curveballs are going to come our way, and we got to tackle them, and we got to figure out some way to get past them and just do what it takes. And our inspirational guest we brought you today, she honestly is such a perfect example of what it means to live full out. Teal Share is her name, and many of you might have seen her on Venom in the Guild, or maybe My Gimpy Life, a show that she actually kicked off herself based upon her story. But due to a back injury, she did become a paraplegic. But the thing is you would never know it. This gal is a mover and a shaker, literally. So I'd like to bring Teal back onto the show. Hello.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. I was thinking a lot about you this morning because from the moment I met you, and we had a pre-call before this just to say hi, you are this massive amount of beautiful, positive energy. And so many people could take what you went through and be in victim mode, but you were never really in victim mode. I don't think it's in you, right?
Well, definitely. I do, of course, have hard days and some things can be challenging, but I always just try to go back to what I'm thankful for and try to, it's so easy to look at the bad things, the things you don't have, and that's easy to do. So when I get in that mode, I try to think, okay, so what am I happy about? What am I thankful for? What are the good things going on? And try to focus on those.
And that is a great compass right there, something to start with. I would like for you to take our audience back, though, to the day of the accident. I know you were in high school and you were going to see a fireworks show, but what was the scenario around the accident?
Yeah, so I had just started my freshman year of high school. I was a cheerleader, and it was Labor Day, and some of my friends from high school were going to go see the Labor Day fireworks show, and I wanted to go. And so I told my mom, I asked my mom if I could go, and she kind of said no at first, but I told her this one guy was going to be driving who she knew and who she liked. And that was a lie because it was one of the other guys that was going to be driving, and because I really wanted to go. And so she finally gave in and said, okay, you can go if this one guy's driving that I know. And so we went to the show. It was me and two guys from high school and then another girl from high school. And the guy that was driving was just driving too fast on a narrow back road. And we were going over a hill, and he lost control of the car, got airborne, went off the road, and hit a tree. And I was sitting in the back seat behind the driver, and I just had a lap seatbelt on. So when the car hit the tree, I jackknifed forward, like my upper body jackknifed forward, and I broke my back at the L2 level, which is your lumbar. So it's kind of lower in your back. And so that's where I broke my back and basically became paralyzed from the hips down.
Well, I think it's great that you had your seatbelt on, responsible, and that's all you had. It was the lap belt at the time. And I'm really glad that you mentioned that because I know so oftentimes people take the seatbelts that go across your chest and they put them under their arm because it's uncomfortable. But truly, if you had had the seatbelt that went across your chest, would this have all been prevented for the most part?
Yes, that's what the doctor said.
Well, I want everybody listening today, let Teal be an example here in really making sure that we wear those seatbelts. So thank you for bringing that up.
Of course.
Now, I know after the accident, after the initial hit and everything, smoke was coming from the car, and you tried to get out. Unfortunately, your door was jammed and you couldn't. Do you remember anything more about that environment? Could you feel your legs? Could you feel your body?
Yeah, I mean, it was all kind of surreal, and I feel like I was kind of going in and out of consciousness. But like you said, I saw the smoke coming out of the front of the car. So the first thing I thought was like the car's going to explode because that's what you see in movies. And so I tried to get out the door. The door's jammed. I feel like my legs, I think they just felt like tingly. I don't know if I totally clocked that I'd been paralyzed. I don't think I had. I think I just felt really tingly. And yeah, and the guy in the front passenger seat, he crawled into the back of the car because the front of the car had been smashed in. So I think he crawled in the back to get some relief from that. And then I think next thing I know, they airlifted me to the hospital since I was the most injured one in the accident. So I was airlifted to the hospital and, just kind of remembered bits and pieces.
Now, when you were at the hospital, what's your first memory where you realized maybe, to the full extent of your injuries?
Yeah, so they kept coming in with like a little, I don't want to call it a needle, but some little thing to kind of like prick my leg to see if I could feel it. And probably like once or twice a day they'd come in. Can you feel this? Can you feel that? Do you feel this? And I would be like, no, I can't feel that. So they kept kind of checking my feeling in my legs. But I had back surgery. I had to have stomach surgery. In the accident, the seatbelt kind of pressed into my abdomen, and one of my intestines was injured, so they had to go in there and repair that. So, I'm going through the surgeries and just trying to heal from that. I was, of course, heavily medicated. So, and then after the surgeries, they tell me what's going on, that I've been paralyzed. They say there is a chance that you could get movement or feeling back, and that I need to go to rehab. So my parents, I was living in Tennessee at the time, and the best rehab hospital near us was Shepherd Center in Atlanta, Georgia. So I think they sent me in an ambulance over to Shepherd Center. Maybe. I think so. That sounds right. And so then I went to Shepherd Center for a month and did rehab and learned how to become as independent as possible in my wheelchair and build up my strength, learn how to do transfers. And I got to meet, while I was there, a lot of other people that were in my situation, which was very helpful to me to meet other people,
I think that
going through the same thing.
That is so important. When we come back from our break, Teal, I want to talk more about that, because that is what kind of gave you the strength to realize, gosh, it could have been worse, but also that you can be independent. So I want you to stay with us. We'll come back after this break and pick up on your story. And for everybody listening today, Teal had to do what it takes, right? She had to figure out a way to navigate life with her wheelchair. And when she tells you her stories of what she's done, it's really impressive. And so stay with us. We're going to be coming right back after this break. And just consider in your life, what do you need to do to get to where you want to be in life and get past those hurdles in your life? So stay with us. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show. We'll be back.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan, and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee, and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Nancy Solari, host of the Living Full Out Show. I am excited to let you know that we are now associated with Alexa. If you have Alexa in your house and you didn't know that, go ahead and find Living Full Out because you can hear us anytime you want, and we're there for you to keep you motivated. Go to your app store because we're located there as well. Just look for the Living Full Out radio show. It's important to us that we put out really inspiring programming, but we want to make sure that you have it at your fingertips when you need us most. We never know when those challenges are going to come, when we're going to feel lonely and need that motivation. So just know that when you need us, we're here for you. Check out Alexa, the app stores, or go to livingfullout.com. Here's to you living full out.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow, right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and we are talking about doing what it takes today. And our inspirational guest, Teal Shear, honestly, such a great example of living full out in so many aspects of her life, personally, in her career, you name it. You would know her as Venom in The Guild, or maybe her TV series, My Gimpy Life. But honestly, due to a car accident in her high school years, she did become a paraplegic. But with her vibrant spirit, she has not let anything hold her back. So I'd very much like to welcome Teal back to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, Teal. Hi. You know, you said something in our last segment that really touched me. And for our viewers, they know that I'm legally blind due to retinitis pigmentosa. And I remember so many times them saying, you know, a cure will come in 5 years, in 5 years. But I remember those two moments individually, like being actually told the words, you're going to go blind. That was a bit of a, it stopped, everything paused. But then also truly believing that every 5 years this cure was going to come. And you kind of had your own walk with that because, you know, you were informed that you were paraplegic. But, you know, for a while there, they kind of gave you the hope that you might be able to walk. that you might be able to use the use of your legs. And then when you found out that you could not, what was that emotional roller coaster like for you?
Well, and also you just reminded me after my injury too, they did say, oh, there'll be a cure for spinal cord injuries in 10 years probably. So, just keep yourself in shape and healthy because there will be a cure. And so what's funny is it's been almost 25 years and there's still not a cure for spinal cord injuries. But I think what happens is in the beginning you are kind of holding on to that hope that you will be able to maybe walk again. But then as time goes by, at least for me, I got used to being in my wheelchair. I learned to be fully independent in my wheelchair. I finished high school. I started, I moved to Atlanta to go to college. And I started getting involved with acting and then a physically integrated dance company. So I kind of almost forgot or didn't even really think about the cure because I was living my life and enjoying my life. And
that's
so
why.
I
was going to say, and that's why today we're talking about doing what it takes, and you were just like a steamroller, just doing what it takes. You weren't going to waste time, and I think it's so interesting because the world of acting is so competitive. The dance world, equally competitive. And here you were, in your wheelchair, happy, happy as can be in just enjoying life to the fullest that you can. But you were going into two really competitive industries. Can you share with us, I think you started with acting or dance first. Which one did you incorporate into your career?
They were they were happening around the same time. I took a theater class in college and fell in love with theater and had professors that were very encouraging of me and cast me in school productions in roles that weren't even disability specific. And then at the same time in Atlanta, there was a physically integrated dance company called Full Radius Dance, which includes dancers with and without disabilities. And so we're all dancing together. So it was kind of all happening at the same time. And what was so great with dance and theater is that it really, I really started to embrace my disability and become comfortable in my body again. And because when you're dancing or acting, your body is your instrument, it's your tool. So you become very intimate with it. And so it was very life-changing for me to dance and act.
Well, and just for our viewers, and the thing is, I'm legally blind, so I can't watch the video. And this is radio, but explain for us how you dance in a wheelchair, and then how do you dance with people who have legs and walk around and dance around?
Yeah, so wheelchairs, if you think about it, they glide and they spin. They're almost kind of like an ice skater, if you think about it. So for wheelchairs, I use a manual wheelchair. It's already kind of graceful the way I kind of just glide around. And then, of course, I have full use of my upper body, so I would use my upper body, my arms and neck and torso to move around. And when you're partnering with able-bodied people, some of the things they would get on my lap, either standing up on my wheelchair or laying across my lap, and I'd spin them around, or I could do wheelies over the back of them, or maybe they might pick me up in my wheelchair. So you can get very kind of creative and create some cool things, and I think it's cool for the audience to see because it kind of changes their perception of disability and bodies, and they realize, wow, like wheelchairs and people with disabilities, they can move beautifully, and we usually think of wheelchairs as a bad thing, like it's a medical device and it's something bad, but it's not. Like wheelchairs, at least for me, it's allowed me to live my life and be free.
Well, and you know what? I'm so glad that you have that positive spin on, having a wheelchair and embracing that, because I think for so many people who have a disability, and I know for me, when I had to incorporate my white cane, it was like, okay, this is real, then the wheelchair, okay, this is real, and I think people try to not embrace that if they can help it. But when you do, and you get to the other side and you realize how much independence it gives you. I mean, girl, you're doing wheelies in a wheelchair. I mean, if that isn't living full out, I don't know. That is just, you could literally go circles around me. You'd be much quicker. But I'm wondering, In the acting world, so were you cast for, mainly roles where they needed somebody in a wheelchair and you played that role, or were you selected mainly because of your looks or your personality, or how did that go?
Yeah, most roles I've gotten were because they were looking for somebody in a wheelchair. So they, in some cases, they want to cast authentically. So they want to cast somebody who actually uses a wheelchair. So they would bring in actors and actors who have disabilities. So a lot of my roles have been from that. But one thing we're pushing for in Hollywood is to, cast actors with disabilities and maybe non-disability roles, because there's no reason I can't play the teacher or the mom or the, whatever, the doctor, because we are those things in real life. So that is something
Absolutely.
We're all pushing for.
Now, what is the project that you're the most proud of?
The project that I'm most proud of is a web series I created that is loosely based on my life and all of the awkward situations I encountered being an actress with a disability in Hollywood. It's called My Gimpy Life, and it's on my YouTube channel, My Gimpy Life. And that's what I'm the most proud of because I created it, I star in it, and the show has been really embraced by the able-bodied community because it's kind of opened their eyes to a different experience, and then as well as the disability community because it's important for them to see themselves represented, in the media. And so I get a lot of emails and feedback from people with disabilities like, oh, thank you for making this. I've gone through the same thing. Oh, that happened to me too. And then we can kind of have a conversation about it, and we don't feel so alone in our experiences. And the show is also used in a lot of college curriculums across the country in disability media studies classes, and just in new media classes about web series and whatnot.
Well, congratulations on that, first of all. It's a personal journey that you're sharing, but I'm sure you give humor and meaningful moments and everything in between. Now, for our audience, everybody goes through their own pain, their own hardships. And for you, it was the accident and breaking your back and becoming paraplegic. But for others, it might be heartbreak. It might be, mental health. It might be another disability of another kind. And there's always going to be that moment where people give you the I'm sorries, or over helpful, or they stare, or, there's kind of that awkward moment. How have you handled those awkward moments?
Wow. Yeah, they still happen. I could just be out at the grocery store and someone's like, oh, I hope you get better soon. Or, they'll put their hand on my head and start praying for me or whatever. There's that. And, I just try to remain positive. I mean, sometimes for me, I kind of sometimes think of it as material. When something awkward happens, I'm like, oh, I could use that in my web series, or I could use that when I write an article. And I think sometimes it's good to just be nice, but then maybe even educate. Sometimes I'll just get in my wheelchair in my car and people will run up. Can I help you? Can I help you? And just really nicely say, no, thank you for asking. But I can get it myself. But thank you for asking, and move on. So, yeah.
Isn't it nice though to see the human spirit though be so giving? And I've learned for myself that if I wasn't legally blind, I don't think I would see that side of people if I was fully sighted. And so it's nice to see that they rallied, come to your defense and let me help you. I love that.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you, Teal, so much for being on today's show and just kind of, opening our eyes to the fact that, living life with a wheelchair is an exciting adventure in the sense that you can make it your unique journey. And you did that. I mean, again, I can't get over wheelies and dancing and, just being such a success in the entertainment field. So we are so proud of you, and we'll keep watching, keep supporting you. And thank you so much for your story.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks, Teal. And for everybody listening today, I mean, we all have that ability, like Teal, to assess, what's not working, what pain we're going through, but to look forward and to stay positive. And again, in the theme of today's show, just doing what it takes. She had to do what it took to learn how to navigate life in a wheelchair. I, for myself, have had to learn to use my cane. And I think both of us had to learn how to ask for help from time to time. So what is it that you need to do what it takes to get to that other side, to be able to thrive and be proud of life accomplishments? So we're going to be taking your calls in the next segment. So stay with us. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and we're talking about doing what it takes to live full out and dream big. We'll be right back.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a text.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. So many comments on my comment. Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Mom, what? Huh? Pew, pew. What'd you say?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. It's against my religion. I'm giving my dog a bath. You can have pictures of that. Pressure gives me hives. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. Hold on, let me ask my mom. Sorry, my webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. Unfortunately, I just had my clothes surgically attached to my body. If they got out, I might never be president. I'm already naked, under my clothes. Not even if you were all three Jonas Brothers. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. The more you ask, the less I want to. You're not the boss of me. Nudity makes me vomit. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
I want to be a football
I want to
stadium.
be a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
What? What about our plan to win the lottery and start living? You know, travel the world on matching yachts, wear enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacation on the French Riviera, and then buy it.
You know we're never going to win the lottery, right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When you consider needing to do what it takes, you want to think ahead. What is it that you're trying to achieve? What people might you need to have support you along your journey? What resources might you want to ask for or put in place? Anything is possible when it comes to living full out. It's just putting out there what you need and doing what it takes.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us. I am Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we've been talking about doing what it takes. And I'm so inspired by everybody who's called in today, because to put ourselves out there and to be honest and say, this is what's going on, and how do I unravel this yarn? How do I troubleshoot what's not working? And that's what this community is all about. That's why we're here each week, to give you the motivation that you need to keep going, to believe that anything is possible, and then at the end of the day, then you are living full out. That's what it's about. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we have another caller on the line. We'll say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi, thank you so much.
Thank you for calling in. How can we help you today?
All right, so there's this guy that I like, but it's kind of complicated. My question is, how do I get over someone that I know that I could never be in a relationship with?
I got to ask you one question. Why can you not be with him?
He has a girlfriend.
Okay. Well, so here's the thing. You have to honor that, right? Because you don't want bad karma, right? Because you want to make sure that, you wouldn't want done to her that same thing that you wouldn't want done to you. So that's the first thing. But secondly, it's perfectly fine to admire somebody. And does he know how you feel?
I don't think he does. I'm honestly not sure. We're pretty good friends, and we spent a lot of time together. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he knows that I do like him.
Got it. Okay. Well, what you want to do is you want to like him. Don't fall in love with him. Okay. But you can. Okay. So I like that you said I like him. That's good. You want to like him, right? He's your friend. He's your buddy. You believe in him. You want the best for him. And that is all good, positive energy, right? And you know what? If this lady is the one he's meant to be with, then you want him to be happy. But at the same time, you want to kind of look at the big picture of life, right? And why are you guys friends and not more? It might be because you make such good friends. And sometimes you have to trust that process. Now, you might look at what qualities of him that you would like in a mate, in a partner. And, maybe when you do find that person, the four of you all go out and you're like, oh my gosh, those two guys get along. They're almost exactly the same. You know what I mean? I think there's a great synergy that could happen there. So what are you looking for? Put this person aside for a second, this friend of yours, okay? Because we know that we can't really have him right now, right? He's in a relationship. But what kind of guy are you looking for?
I think that I'm looking for someone that's like a good listener that I could really talk to about anything and everything with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we want him to be a good listener. What's another quality?
I'm kind of modeling this off of like a past relationship, but just like someone that's like funny and like not afraid to have like a good time with me, kind of adventurous and just a good guy to like hang out with all the time.
Okay, I love it. And we could keep playing this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Keep going. The thing is you want to keep in your mind and your heart those criteria that you're looking for. Okay, like maybe that's your Fab 5 that you're looking for. But at the same time, I want you to be also open to something new, something different. Rather than looking at the qualities of your friend that you adore or the past relationship that you're modeling, also be open to a relationship that's different, maybe outside the box of your norm. But follow your heart and your instincts most of all. I did switch gears from not concentrating on your friend because it's your life, right? I want you to look forward and look at the opportunities and what's possible rather than being stuck in the I wish I had or I wish I could, right? You want to look forward and say, I can't wait to have that guy that's a good listener. I can't wait to be with someone who's adventurous. Do you see the difference?
I do, yeah.
Okay, and that all that languaging, that positive energy, it starts with you. But thank you so much for calling in today, and we'll be sending positive wishes your way.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you. And for everybody listening today, our entire Living Full Out family, we got Rich and Aaron and John and Riley and Shakira, and everybody just really wants to make sure that you are living your best life and doing what it takes. Let's start that today. Most of all, reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com if you need more support on today's topic. Or, like Teal, if you have an inspirational story and you want to share it with our community, we would love to hear from you. Just send us a message at connect@livingfullout.com. And lastly, don't forget to check us out. If you have Alexa, you can find us there or your app stores. Just look for Living Full Out Radio. And of course, go to livingfullout.com to hear this show and all of our episodes. Just know that I believe in all of you in doing what it takes so that you can live your life full out. Have a wonderful day. I'm Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and I wish you all a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.